slithering across the floor like a snake, foaming at the mouth, and her eyes are rolled back in her head.
Is this a sign of possession? No. As humans, we are so naturally curious. We are always wanting to get to know information and insight. We want to find out why. And what ends up happening is we create all of this dogma based on the fact that we are curious, that we want to know answers. And the only way for me to say, well, this person is behaving in such an egregious way, saying all these nefarious things, that it must not be them, it must not be God, therefore it must be some form of a possession. I feel very fortunate over the course of my time as an intuitive, as an educator, as an intuitive educator, to work with many individuals who would be perceived as being possessed. And when I'm working with someone who has a possession, the last thing that I'm going to do is to try to scare them. Because what I already know is that their mind and their body are not in coherence. I already know that. Because this is not connecting to this. And there is a whole array of ways that manifests physically, sounds, being able to do things that you would have never believed the human body to do. But still, when I am assessing and watching someone like that, because for me, everything is frequency based, meaning it's visual. It is a visual frequency. I can see where the synapse inside of the brain, where the body has disconnections. And I've learned that by trying to reconnect and reconnect and reconnect, their minds go through a sense of ease. But I have clients who show up who, even on Zoom, who show up doing wild things that you would really say there's no way that the human body can do this. How is that possible? But yet, what everyone else might perceive as this person is grotesquely possessed by some kind of entity. But that's not what it looks like on frequency level. So when you use language like, I've got to come and I've got to do an exorcism and more, there's so much trauma going on inside of that person's mind and their body. And then when they connect that with the need and the desire to have an exorcist come in and remediate it from outside of the body, their subconscious belief system is going to manifest that as truth, because the body cannot lie. The body, connects to what truth is and what truth is not. But it doesn't have to be through an exorcist, and it doesn't have to be through a priest. So I don't teach the collective how that priest teaches. That priest only teaches fear paradigm. And that's how that priest was taught. That's literally how that priest was taught to do their variation of a healing. It just so happens that my variation of a healing is different. And I will say this, to really advocate for myself, my variation of healing never has to go through fear. Never has to go through fear. It's a one and done situation, or sometimes it's a one and many time situations, meaning like you've got to come back a few times. But I have never not, literally never not had a client who's come in with a possession who hasn't been able to walk out, even on Zoom, be able to say, I feel different. I feel a little different. I have not had any client who has a possession walk out not feeling a sense of change.